Oh, good morning. Welcome to Kevinish at 7ish. Good morning, Anchorage. Good morning, fishes in the Pacific Ocean, because that is about where it is 7ish right now. Anchorage and the fishes in the Pacific Ocean, and the whales, and all the other sea life out there. I don't know what those tables are doing. But we are here. It is Saturday. It is time for Kevinish at 7ish. Welcome everybody. I am very inconsistent, as you may have noticed. My videos are very inconsistent, which is why we say 7ish. Um, so yeah, we have lots to talk about today. I have a plan. I got up early. I made a plan of what to talk about. So it helps me organize my thoughts when I have a plan. Um, yeah, as and you should have a plan too if you want to, do any. This is public speaking. If you want to do some public speaking, have a bit of a plan, just a bit of an outline. Some people like to memorize, but I just like an outline. So look at this gorgeous car. Uh, Cars. I love cars. Um, I worked at a car shop, and I never used to give cars much thought before I worked at a car shop. I worked at Mercedes Benz. I drove cars around as their little lot guy. Um, and yes, I learned to love cars. Um, as we have been taught, we should love cars. This is kind of in our being ever since the the 50s and the 60s. Cars were cars were sexy, and this is what I want to get to today. We're talking about sex and car crashes and Cronenberg's 1996 movie called Crash, um, which is about sex and car crashes. Um, but I'm disappointed because that movie was at the local repertoire um, cinema last night at midnight. But I couldn't stay up. I couldn't stay up to see it. But I feel like I want to talk about it. So and this is perfectly with our GTA theme here of all things GTA. Is that a UFO? Is that how they get UFOs in the hackers get the UFOs around here? So yes, so car crashes. I was gonna spend the whole video getting into car crashes, and I will get into a few car crashes, but I can't do that all the time because I can't think. My brain can't do two things at once. This may because I am a man, or it may because I just cannot multitask, and maybe there are many people who can. This is nice. Look at the palm trees. This is definitely got an LA vibe to it. Um, so yeah. Last night, um, David Cronenberg's movie 1996 Crash. It was starring J.G. Ballard, or sorry, no, J.G. Ballard is the writer of the novel. It was starring James Spader and Elias Cotes, Deborah Unger, Holly Hunter, um, Patricia or Roseanne. I think it's Patricia Arquette. I can't remember. One of the Arquettes. Um, yeah, but as I said, I needed to sleep because it was so late, and this is one of my this is a problem with me lately. My sleep habits are, well, they're normal. I go to bed early, I get up early, but they're not very conducive to a social life. Um, yeah, so Crash. I don't know if you've ever heard of that movie. It's old, and you guys are young. This you you young people are my target audience. This is letters to a young gamer, obviously, and so you probably haven't seen this movie, but if you're if you're mature enough, I think this is a good movie. I hate that word mature. I mean, when I was a kid, I just watched anything. I didn't, anything I could get my filthy head on. I wanted to see my filthy hands on. But yeah, Crash. Crash. I think it's NC-17. Not very many movies get that NC-17 rating, and this one did. It was in the Cannes Film Festival. It was given an award for audacity, which is kind of like I think it's kind of a bullshit award. I think they should have given it like Best Picture. That would have been braver, but they just gave it an award for audacity. And yeah, so it definitely is audacious. I saw it in the theater when it first came out, and this great cinematography, this great music. It had a low budget, and so I can't remember the musician, but I think it's Howard Shore, and he just basically used an electric guitar for the whole soundtrack. It's quite good. It's kind of haunting. So when I heard Cronenberg was going to make this movie, I ran out to the bookstore and bought the Ballard book and read it, and I was quite confused, quite confused by the book. There's a lot of description about violent. I didn't get the book. I mean, it's something that slowly kind of works on you. You have to think about, and also it's open to interpretation. So I mean, what you take away from the movie is different than what I take away. So here's what I take away. This is what we're going to talk about today. Definitely, like I value freedom of expression, and this is a great kind of test case for how much freedom of expression do you believe in. If you believe it's okay to, and I think you do, if you believe it's okay to make a movie about fetishization of car crashes, then this movie is for you. I mean, it's a work of art that that has very much like a lot of violence and nudity. So yeah, all that good stuff. It's all in there, and so yeah, it is a good test case for freedom of expression. And there were places. I'm sure there are many places where it was banned, but even in North America, when it was released on video or DVD, whatever the case was, there was a edited version. I think Blockbuster had an edited version. Blockbuster is gone now, and we are none the worse for it. But if you go to your, it's like if you go to your little video store, your little DVD store that might still exist, that has all the artistic movies in it, you might find a copy of it there, hopefully in its unedited version. Yes, so definitely freedom of expression, but that's not. So the way it goes about it is it also creates this world where obviously you have to suspend your disbelief and think, like, it's kind of it's so hard to describe. Struggling with my words here. I'm still working through my coffee, but you have to allow yourself the possibility that there is this little subculture of people who, because they're, oh, look at that, our first car crash. The subculture of people who get off on car crashes, and they don't know why. It's kind of funny because you can see that they don't really think about the why, as it is with obsessions. You can't explain it. It's just something you're obsessed with. I mean, like, why are you obsessed with this thing, Kevin? And you just I don't know, because I am. My brain has just fixated on it, and so it's kind of funny. These characters in the movie are all fixated on car crashes, and 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 it's almost as though they don't know why. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the cast. The cast is great, as I mentioned. James Spader, Elias Cotes, Holly Hunter. Oh, it's quite a good cast, actually. I have this kind of obsession with Elias Cotes. I really like his movies and the characters he portrays. I don't know what it is. He's been in a few. He was in this other kind of not well known Canadian movie called The Adjuster, where he plays an insurance adjuster, and that was a great movie. That's by Adam Agoyan. After you watch Crash, go check that one out. It's pretty good too. Yeah, so it's very so. Why make a movie about people who are sexually obsessed with car crashes? I don't know. It's very Freudian. I mean, when we talk about Freud, it's about that weird compulsion for sex and death. These death drives and these sex drives, and that's what is at our core as people. So it's very much like that. There's I mean, there's nothing more final than death by a car crash. I mean, I have a friend on Twitter. He described. He rides his bike a lot, and he often comments on the dangers of, like, just what a plague cars are. I mean, they use fossil fuels. Their suburbs were horribly designed for people to drive their cars around, and look where it's gotten us. We just have gridlock all the time and car accidents, drunk driving there, and so he calls the obsession with cars a death cult, a car death cult or something. I thought it was really funny because it's true. Like I don't know the numbers, but we've all heard that that car accidents kill like a lot of people. A lot. They're way up there in the number one killers of people. Car crashes. So take this idea of oops, look at that.
You know how much this car costs?
Take this idea of these death machines that also have a very, like, advertising has made them a very sexy machine for us. There's more, like, they used to more, but you still see it. They use sex to sell cars. Yeah, and in sort of like old movies, the guy with the car. This is what Cronenberg says. It was the guy with the nice car who would. Oh, look at this! Whoa. Okay, let's just watch this. It's the guy with the car who would get the girl. That's a short story. But yeah, so sex and death, Freudian. There you go. There's one interpretation. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, but it's not reality, right? It's not like that's the thing. You don't take this seriously. I mean, it's a great work of art because it's plausible. It's so bizarre, and yet if you stop and think about it, it's like it's so implausible, um, and you realize that this is what art does. It allows us to explore these ideas and just think about it. Like, oh, okay, so here I'll give you a good example. Um, like, why? What's the point of watching Crash the movie? Um, it, 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 the same reason, like the same fascination makes us want to play this game called Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, you want to explore the idea that you are a criminal. You steal cars and shoot people and run them over and shoot up police and do all these terrible things. But it's like no one takes it seriously. I mean, idiots do. Idiots might, but as a normal sort of self-aware citizen, you realize this is a work of art. This is entertainment, and I think video games need to do that more. They need to they need to like they you see people kind of arguing that they are an art form, and but I think they do it. I think they do it badly. They need better spokespeople for to represent video games as art. They need, yeah, you need like Al Weiwei or someone, some fantastic artists, and they do. You see artists incorporating video games into their works of art, but in mainstream and pop culture, there's this idea that video games are kind of like action movies, just kind of kitschy still, just not really thoughtful. But look at the beauty that has gone into the care and the detail that has gone into this game. It's like a baroque work of art. There's so much detail. Um, yeah, so I mean, this is what Crash means for me now. At the time, I didn't play GTA 5 when I first liked it. I just liked it as a interesting cult movie, and where it kind of moved me. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about the death cult of the car. I think that's a great quote. His name, Myromancer. I think that's his Twitter handle right now. Talked about the Freudian death cult, death, sex, and death. Talked about a little bit about me sleeping. Um, oh right. So a little anecdote. I like James Spader. I was going to say James Ballard. James Spader as an actor, and a friend of mine was working in film, and she was the person who brought the cast from their trailer where they were resting to set when they were needed. So one show or movie she was working on was with James Spader, and so for my birthday, this was after Crash came out, like a couple of years after, maybe like 5 years. Um, um, for my birthday, she got me an autographed photo of James Spader, and the quote says he wrote on it. He said, "Kevin, I feel like a potted plant." James Spader, and that's a quote from the Crash movie. So James Bader plays this guy who he's a film producer, and he seems to be I seems to be sexually unsatisfied, or I don't know. He's just exploring his sexuality, and the first scene of him is having sex with someone from the crew in a closet. And anyway, he's driving home from his job, and he's futzing around with some stuff in the car, and he gets in a head-on collision with Holly Hunter. And actually, Holly Hunter's husband is also in the car. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. He goes flying through the glass and gets killed. And so they're both sent to the hospital. And James Spader has a really bad broken leg, and so he's trapped in bed. And that's his line when he's trapped in bed. He says he feels like a potted plant. So, yeah. Anyway, I love that little picture. I don't know where it is, but it's yeah. I don't have too many autographs of actors. I don't have any, actually. That's the only one I have. But it is definitely my favorite. Yeah. So we talked about. I wanted to really stress the importance that these things are art and not reality, right? This also is important when we're talking about sort of video games with a lot of gunplay and military. I mean, I play this other game called Arma, which is a military simulator, and it's some parts are pretty disturbing. Like the realism of it is disturbing. So I mean, it's a well-made game. I mean, I guess in that case, I would not say this is about freedom of expression. This is more about people who really respect the armed forces and wanted to make something true to life, which is you can argue that is bizarre, but I think it also has a place in art, just the same way I think Saving Private Ryan is a great movie. We need to learn about the horrors of war, and think about the repercussions of war. So, I mean, every video game is different. There's like Call of Duty, which makes it very arcadey, and yeah. So every game is a tax. You have to use a different argument for. And also things fall on different scales of artiness and pulpiness, like this, like maybe Call of Duty is just pulp, but well made pulp. Like they certainly throw a lot of money at it. Just think of movies though. I mean, there's well made movies, things that make you think, like AI, or else there's science fiction movies that do not make you think. I was gonna say RoboCop, but actually RoboCop was a pretty good movie. I can't think of maybe, and I was gonna say Starship Troopers, which I actually really like too. Science fiction is a bad example because I like so much science fiction. Maybe Universal Soldier. How about that one? That was pretty pulpy. How about Universal Soldier 2? There you go. There's a pulpy one. Yeah, so that's Crash. This is GTA 5, work of art. Let's do some crashing. Here's a guy on a motorcycle.
You
Oh,
entitled
that was
piece
a
of
pretty
shit.
sturdy motorcycle. I couldn't even take him out. Yeah, I see the talking just stops when I try to engage in destruction because I just can't do two things at once. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Dawn is creeping over Los Santos. I've said all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Kevinish at 7ish, and have a great day. Bye.